are the New York Knicks. I'm back in the New York groove. Well, it's the Knicks. New York. We are the New York Knicks. New York. For this new season we're about to enter, the Knicks is taking no shorts, it's like winter. New York, New York.
New York be about the Knicks, huh?
But the best thing about New York City is K-N-I-C-K-S.
Everybody say go New York, go New York, go!
Hey everybody, welcome to the New York Knicks podcast. It is episode 292.
Yes, 292. The NBA season is now over, though I believe it was over last episode. And playoffs are going on, and there's so much Knicks stuff to talk about. Let's see. Let's go to the Knicks news first. Let's see. There's going to be a draft pick. Phil Jackson said some stuff. Some people said, why wasn't he this? And why wasn't he blah, blah, blah? He may not be here next year or the year after. Who cares? Free agency, Knicks, caught up. Okay, show's over. That was pretty good.
Yeah, we're basically going to be talking about playoffs in general because there's really not a lot of Knicks stuff.
No, these people throw out like, Knicks are going after LaMarcus Aldridge. Let's all talk about how he plays the same position as Carmelo, and will this work out? Amari plus Melo again? Who knows?
So somebody asked about the theme song that I just played because they thought at the very end they're going, the Wizards, but he's actually saying, who is it? So I just wanted to clear that up. He's not saying the Wizards.
Why don't you play that clip so people know what the hell you're talking about?
It just played 5 seconds
No
ago.
one listens to the first part, and now no one knows what you're talking about. You played it. People will fast forward through the opening thing because they've heard it enough times, and then you're referencing this part of it, and everyone's like, oh, I can rewind or just not care.
For those of you who don't have a 30-second attention span, I'm going to play that part again.
Knicks, huh?
But the best thing about New York City is K-N-I-C.
That's not saying the Wizards. That's saying who is it?
Could you play that? Could you have something queued up next time? We're a professional operation here, Jay.
Of course we're professional, yeah.
Could you play the part again?
No.
Fine. I think it's the Wizards. I think Jay's a Wizard fan.
New York City is K-N-I-C.
There you go.
K-N-I-C?
Yeah, they're spelling Knicks in case anybody wants that.
Okay, this is right now. This show has been as terrible as the playoffs. Should we talk about how amazing the playoffs are so far?
This first round has been just there's literally one series that's worth watching.
Should we start with the Clippers San Antonio series or get to it at the end? Let's talk about each series.
Okay.
What's going on? We're going to do a little recap. I mean, everyone's following it anyhow.
Yeah. Let's do a little recap. First,
Let's start with a series that I'd say is blowing everyone away. Golden State versus Anthony Davis.
the Pecans.
Yeah, Unibrow versus whatever. That was phenomenal. Wow, Unibrow got his first playoff run, and he played great.
They almost didn't lose a game. I mean,
There was game 3. They were I was watching a little of it. They were up by like 25 in the third quarter, and you figured, well, Golden State's going to lose a game. And then I woke up in the morning and found out Golden State won in overtime.
Yeah, I had actually gone to bed, and I woke up, and I'm like, what the hell happened?
Golden State looks really good. Of course, it's the first round. And Unibrow's team probably shouldn't be there in the first place.
Yeah, that was kind of beat. I don't know. It's I don't think the Thunder would have done much better just because they're so injured. So that was kind of like a whatever round.
So I guess the question is really, do we learn anything about Golden State? Golden State, obviously, it's the playoffs, and they're playing pretty well so far, but it is also a team that's not that great. Have we learned anything? Like, do we learn, like, are they going to be as good as they were in the regular season in the playoffs? Are they the favorite now for the finals?
I think they're looking good for the finals, but I don't think we really learned much. It's, we showed they're not going to choke, which is good. They didn't. If they lost in the first round, that would have been ridiculous.
Yeah, Curry's playing great. I mean, Anthony Davis had a fine premier performance. This team is just not as good.
They were also a little banged up, and that's not a deep team to begin with. So,
I saw an article just on a side note on Anthony Davis, who's now going to start taking up the 3-point shot. Do you think that that's going to really be a great idea?
I don't see how expanding your repertoire can hurt.
No, I mean, it's not a bad idea, but I think actually Steve Kerr commented in the article and said, "Great, put him on the perimeter, no problem." Sounds wonderful to me.
Yeah,
something along those lines. It was like, yeah, don't have him in the post. That seems like a great idea for your team.
No, I mean, it's good if he happens to be out there and he has a shot. That's fine,
right.
But I don't think he should turn into Kevin Love if that's what.
Yeah. I think that was Kerr was the whole point. You want your player who's your best rebounder near the basket.
Yeah.
It's nice that he can do that. I haven't watched enough Anthony Davis to know, can he really take someone off the dribble?
I haven't watched enough either. I know he has some moves, but I haven't seen enough of him really. I'm
just wondering, is he really going to bring his defender all the way out there, and he's going to then fake the defender and drive to the bat? The idea basically is he's not a guard. He may want to act like a guard, even though he's that big, because guys always want to act like guards because that's the more athletic position. But maybe he shouldn't be trying to act like a guard.
Right.
Whatever. I mean, obviously, it would make him a more dangerous player if he could shoot the three. But I guess the other point in the article was that once you start shooting the three, you fall in love with the three. And that could be a death to your game.
I guess you just don't want him making that a habit.
Right. Okay. I remember before Barg started shooting threes, he was the first Anthony Davis. Okay, I'm kidding. But yeah, just there are a lot of players that fall in love with the three, like Josh Smith, who it hurts their game.
Yeah, but Josh Smith is a terrible 3-point shooter.
Yeah, I mean, if he ends up being Steve Kerr from the 3-point land or whatever, then it, or Stephen Curry from 3-point land, then obviously Anthony Davis would be really deadly.
Or
but
even somebody.
Chances are he's not going to be a top 3-point shooter.
Right. I just think it stretches defenses a little bit if you can do that.
Right. I mean, I guess basically.
It hasn't hurt Dirk's game.
No, it did. Yeah, I think Dirk's got a little bit different game than. Yeah, whatever. Davis is an awesome player. Anyhow, that series phenomenally awesome. What series do you want to jump to next?
Let's go to the other 1-8 seed.
Well, that series actually Hawks Brooklyn.
Yeah.
So actually, Brooklyn took a game.
Yeah, that's one more game than I thought they would win.
I'm not that surprised because I feel like the Hawks were. I don't think they're a very good team, but I don't think they're dominant enough that they would just pull off 4-0 sweeps.
Right.
And they're missing a key player.
Who the Hawks?
Yeah.
Who are they missing?
Is it Cephalosha?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, hey guys, tonight go back to your hotel room. Don't wrestle with the cops.
Yeah. So this brings us to an email. Let's read this email. Earlier this month, Nets and this is from John. Thank you, John. Earlier this month, Nets and Barclays Center CEO trolled the Knicks by saying Brooklyn is the only place to catch playoff basketball in New York, and we are excited to see you at Barclays Center. And then he sent us a picture of 15 minutes before tip-off, and it looks like there's about 50 people in the stadium. And then at the tip-off, he took another picture, and it's about 50% full. This is a playoff game.
It just takes a while to really get whatever. I mean, you can't force a following in Brooklyn. There's a certain amount of people who's going to like them because they moved there, but you're not going to have a diehard. It takes a really long time to really build up that strong fan base.
Yeah, but 50% empty is ridiculous.
Yeah, but I mean, the Brooklyn's not that good of a team. No one thinks they're really going to contend this year.
I mean, they moved from Jersey, which is not far. You would think there would have been enough Jersey fans in New York to take.
I don't know. If I was a New Jersey Nets fan, I really was a diehard New Jersey Nets fan. There's a good chance I'd live in New Jersey. The team abandons me for Brooklyn, and doesn't even honor the fact they were in Jersey. I would be like, screw them.
He wrote, I'm just saying, now with the two worst contracts in the league, with making the playoffs, ownership issues, the better team, etc., the Knicks offseason is a story of New York, not to mention they're still bringing us up just to show they're in the room. When will they stop it and bow down to the fact that basketball in New York starts and ends with the Knicks? The Nets may need to move again unless they get a shiny, glittery megastar to play and win there for a while. Your thoughts?
It's also the fact that their future doesn't look very bright right now. I mean, the Knicks at least have they've started. At least the Knicks are starting to rebuild. The Nets are. As a Nets fan, you're like, what is this? We're going to go in the eighth seed. We're going to be an eighth seed. We're going to lose in the first round. We have no draft. We barely have draft picks for the next 5 years. Way to screw us, Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett.
And that being said, I would consider what they're doing right now overachieving.
Yeah, I mean they have talent. It's just
do.
like the talent's never. It's not going to bring them anywhere.
How washed up does Darren Williams look, though?
Yeah.
He looks like completely done.
Why is he so washed up?
I have no idea.
I guess he's had some injuries. He's lost a step, and that makes a big difference.
He's lost more than a step. He looks finished.
Yeah, I don't know. I agree. He does not look very good. But Joe Johnson's still a pretty good player. Lopez is still a good player. Bogdanovich is actually a pretty decent player also.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's move on.
Yeah, who gives a crap about them?
Yeah.
Anyway, so Hawks are obviously going to win that series. Hawks, all you guys got out of that is the Hawks still look pretty good. They haven't collapsed either.
Right.
The second round, it'll start getting interesting in the second round. Right now, it's not the most interesting playoffs.
This has been the worst first round that I can remember.
I mean, there's been a little bit of interest. I mean, I guess things could change. Like if the Bucks pull up, so the Bucks Chicago next, why not? If the Bucks could pull up another victory, which no one thinks they could, because the series is 3-1. Not that. Well, the Bucks won a game.
Derrick Rose
That's
had
exciting.
a really good game, so a Chicago fan tweeted us and said, "What do you think of Derrick Rose now?" And I said, "I am super impressed that he's played almost 10 straight games without getting injured."
Let's see how long he plays.
Exactly. The guy literally has played less than 10 games in a row without getting injured, so let's calm down.
You know what? He looks pretty good right now. So
He always
whatever,
looks good
Chicago.
with
Chicago,
his
you're in
back.
it. You got Derrick Rose healthy. Let's see what you do.
I mean, he always looks good when he's not injured. It's just he's always injured.
No, but there's always Chicago always has this like, well, if we only had Derrick Rose healthy, we only had this guy healthy. You know what? Your best player is healthy. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. I mean, I would love it if they beat Cleveland in the second round. That would be amazing.
Do you think they can?
I think they could.
I mean, anything could happen.
I mean, I don't think it's like I don't think it would be the biggest upset if they did. Let me just say that. I don't think they're that outmatched where I would be like, "Oh my god, I can't believe they beat Cleveland."
I feel like it would be a pretty big upset.
Yeah?
I think Cleveland is by far the favorite in the East right now. I think anyone else going would be a giant shock.
Really?
Yeah, really. You don't think basically? I don't know what the betting lines are, but I imagine betting Cleveland going to the finals is a pretty much like it's pretty much the best odds in Vegas or the worst odds in Vegas or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely the favorites, but I don't think it's that. I mean, Chicago, when they're healthy, and they are right now, is pretty stacked.
Do you remember the time LeBron didn't go to the finals?
Yeah, it was like 5 years ago.
Yeah, it's
But it
been a
wasn't
long
Cleveland.
time. Everyone expects LeBron to go. His team is kind of stacked. They're playing very, very good basketball right now. I don't see why Chicago's going to beat them. I get on paper Chicago can. I get Chicago's going to be a tough fight. I think it'll be, hey, maybe it'll be a 6-game series, maybe a 7-game series. And I would love to see the Bulls beat Cleveland, but I think generally everyone will be really surprised. And LeBron will get so much shit, it'll be hilarious if he doesn't get past Chicago.
Are you upset that this is the first finals of Norris Cole's career that he's not in? This is his 5th year in the league, and this is the first year he's not going to be in the finals.
Norris Cole, he's no Mario Chalmers, but he is a phenomenal player.
He's been in the finals 80% of his entire career. That's not
This is like the first year that Phil Jackson's not in the finals. He won at nine of his 11 years were in the finals.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you don't think Cleveland is like I would say if I had to put odds on who's going there, I would say Cleveland 85% versus the field. 90%. I'm 90% sure they're going.
Yeah.
Okay, you agree with 90%, but you're like, I wouldn't be shocked if Chicago wins.
No, I mean I think they're the favorites, but I don't think it's. I think
It's not Miracle on Ice, like greatest shock, the greatest like victory ever, but like it would be pretty surprising if Chicago beat them.
I wouldn't be that surprised.
First, it'd be surprising if Derrick Rose played healthy the whole series, but even if he does, Chicago's got a very good team. I still don't think they're gonna be Cleveland.
I just think Chicago's way deeper, and Kevin Love might be out now.
He might be out now.
Let's go to that series. Let's go to the Boston-Cleveland series.
I did not know Kevin Love was out. What happened?
Kelly Olynyk yanked his arm out of its socket.
When was this?
This was today. You didn't see that?
No,
He
I've been out all
literally
day.
grabbed his arm and yanked it out of the socket. It was probably the dirtiest play I'd ever seen until J.R. Smith roundhoused Carroll and knocked him out. Both of these things happened.
This all happened today?
Yes. How did you
Really?
miss both of those?
I've been out all day. I didn't see any playoffs today.
Yeah, J.R. Smith backhanded Carroll, hit him so hard he like slumped backwards and twisted his knee.
Oh.
Yeah, it was like two of the dirtiest plays I've seen, and they both happened like in the same game. It was pretty crazy.
Okay, I'm watching the Vine of it. And, well, he obviously pulls him away. I'm watching the play. I mean, like, obviously he yanks his arm, but I feel like he wasn't trying to injure him.
It looked pretty flagrant to me. He wrapped his arm under his and like yanked.
No, I mean, it looks like a flagrant foul. I don't think, but like, do you think he was actually trying to injure him or just like try to prevent him from getting the ball?
Didn't look like a basketball play at all to me.
He didn't follow up with like a elbow off the ropes or anything.
I don't know.
So wait, what happened next? JR, what did he do?
He backhanded punched DeMar Carroll. And that one was
J.R. Smith nervous as hell with suspension looming for decking J. Wow, I missed a lot of shit.
Yeah, this was a pretty crazy, and then and then Cleveland ended up winning that game. You were thinking they probably were hoping they would lose that, so his suspension would come against a team that they're obviously going to beat.
I mean, the thing is, like, just to be honest, I mean, like, I have kids, and like during the day, like, it's a nice day out, like, I can't sit and watch basketball, or else I'd be a shitty parent.
Yeah,
now I'm gonna watch this play.
Yeah, it was bad.
Wait, what? Let me see this. Oh, JR against Boston again.
Yeah, it was the same game. It was,
Oh man, I love that he did that. I mean, let's see what he did. Let's see this play.
So you guys still miss JR?
Oh wow.
He's totally suspended, right?
Oh my God, you have to.
I mean, there's no chance he's not suspended.
I mean, the only thing, like, maybe like they give like LeBron the chance to veto the suspension.
Yeah.
I mean, he also has a history of this.
And it's always in the
Wouldn't you think
playoffs.
like, he has a history of this? You would just like say like, okay, you're done. You're done this year.
It's the annual J.R. Smith playoff meltdown.
Well, I just want to say, like, if you're the NBA, do you say, hey, this is not the first time he's done this. He's just done the playoffs this year. Can you say that, or do you have to like there only be a 1-game suspension for clocking someone in the face?
I don't know if you say you're done for the playoffs, but maybe 3 games.
I would say it's a longer. I would.
I don't think he gets more than 1 though.
Yeah, no, I would be shocked if he gets more than 1. But like, I feel like sometimes you have to add in like, hey, he's done this before, make it a longer suspension. But, wow, he's really a great guy to have on your team.
Yeah.
Oh, when I was in New York, I went out a lot and just didn't give a crap about the games and like whatever. And the playoffs, I just usually intentionally foul someone and get like kicked out of the playoffs. And anyway, team player, give me a big contract.
Pass the ball.
Anyway, they roughed up Boston. Boston didn't look that great, but Boston was way overmatched.
Nobody thought Boston had even a prayer in this series.
No. But I mean, that I guess will make a big difference if they're missing Love and J.R. Smith for I guess Chicago. That may make a big difference.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I guess missing Love will definitely hurt them, and J.R. Smith might actually help them. So,
I mean, they could be really shorthanded. I mean, because they don't have much of a bench, so that might really help Chicago to win Game 1 and take away home court advantage.
no, that's true. That would be a reason that And if that happens, they'll be like, well, unfair to LeBron that happened. Like LeBron shouldn't be expected to win unless his entire team is healthy.
So that means Ed Malloy is going to ref every single game after that.
Man, that's brutal.
Yeah.
And Love says he thinks he thinks the injury was intentional.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. It's pretty bad.
It definitely. I guess at the end of the day, like it definitely was an intentional move. The question is, they tend to really hurt him?
Looked like it to me. I don't know. We'll see what the league thinks. I think. Well, Olynyk's probably going to get suspended for the beginning of next season.
Right. No, they're going to suspend him for the. They're going to suspend Olynyk for the rest of the playoffs.
The rest of the Cleveland series. Okay, so what do we got? We got one more series in the East, right? We got Toronto, Washington.
Oh, that the Raptors seem like they don't know the playoffs started. Did anyone tell them?
Did you see Paul Pierce completely dismantle Toronto in Game 3?
Well, I don't understand.
I could have sworn he was playing the Knicks.
Yeah, I don't understand. I thought Pierce was kind of getting over the hill.
He single-handedly destroyed Toronto. That was ridiculous. That was like vintage Paul Pierce.
That was he ended up being a pretty big pickup for them.
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, they're 4.5 minutes away from sweeping the Raptors. Does that give you any enthusiasm in the Atlanta series?
Well, it does say that when I picked I picked Toronto to win that series. I guess I was wrong
By a little bit, yeah.
a little bit. By a little bit. So it's gonna be Atlanta versus Washington.
Yeah.
Um,
Unless the Nets win, but that's okay. It's Atlanta, Washington.
that'll actually be a pretty good series. I feel like.
Yeah,
I feel like the second round is gonna be a lot more interesting than the first round.
Can't be
I do
worse.
think Cleveland. I guess with these injuries, it should be a good series. I still think Cleveland will win 6 or 7 games. But Washington, Atlanta, I feel like that's gonna go 6 or 7 games also. And I could see Washington being Atlanta.
I could too, which would be again funny if Atlanta loses in the second round.
Yeah. Going back to the West, who else do we have left?
We have the 2-7, which is Houston, Dallas.
Dallas had some major acquisitions. They got Chandler Parsons in the offseason. They got Rondo. They got Amari Stoudemire, which all equated to 0 playoff wins.
How much money has Rondo lost himself in this playoff series? He's been outplayed by Raymond Felton. And not by a little, by a lot.
I heard that Rondo and they announced Rondo will not be playing the rest of the series because Rondo doesn't care.
They also announced that Rondo's done in Dallas. They didn't even wait to they didn't wait for anything. They're just like, yeah, Rondo's out for the series and he will never be in Dallas ever again.
Do you think at any point Mark Cuban just approached Rondo and was like, "Why are you this bad?"
Absolutely, yeah.
I have to think Cuban at some point has gone off on him.
Yeah, he's probably saying why are you doing this? Why'd you just give up on the team? And he probably had an attitude, and then Cuban's like, all right, you have a back injury.
Yeah, I mean,
because he didn't look like he had a back injury. I think that was just an excuse to get him off the team. Because he literally looked like he didn't care.
Yeah, I don't really understand. He used to be a very good player.
I guess when he only had one Hall of Famer on his team instead of 3, so maybe that was the problem.
Yeah. I think that's the biggest surprise is how bad Dallas has been. Houston's just roughed them up basically.
Yeah, but I feel like if they had Parsons and never made the Rondo trade, that would have been an interesting series.
Right. It does say though, Houston does not look stupid for not letting Parsons go now.
Right. Yeah.
Because obviously, obviously, they didn't need him. Obviously, they're playing pretty damn well without him.
Yeah, it's no Thunder getting rid of James Harden.
Did that hurt the Thunder? I thought they won a bunch of titles after that. I heard the Thunder. So the Thunder fired their coach. I
Right.
guess you deserve to be fired when everyone's injured and it's your fault.
I think they were just like, oh yeah, this is the guy who started Kendrick Perkins for 4 years.
I mean, I would counter. You started Kendrick Perkins. Oh, yeah, you're right, because I traded James Harden. But you started Kendrick Perkins. Oh, yeah, because you didn't give me another. You traded for him in the first place.
Right.
But you started Kendrick Perkins. Oh, yeah, because I'm the one that injured Westbrook, and I'm the one that injures Durant every year. I'm the one giving Durant a debilitating foot injury. You're right, it's my fault.
You know, between Westbrook and Durant, they had 6 surgeries this year.
I really think Durant this is going to really hobble his career going forward.
I do too, which is unfortunate. He was on pace to take over that number 1 all-time scoring spot.
I mean, it's super unfortunate. I mean, like he's like a phenomenal player. You don't want to see them when like that good go down. I mean, maybe he'll be fine, but I don't know. I always think tall guy foot injury.
It's never a good sign. He has the same foot injury that Yao had.
Yeah, I know. Everyone just thinks of Yao basically.
And
Yao, what kind of career Yao would have had if he was just healthy his whole career?
he would have had a good one. I don't think it would have been an all-time one. I never thought he was like completely dominating. He put up good numbers, but he wasn't.
He started to really break through near the end of his career.
Yeah.
He was having some big numbers. Now, I don't think he would have been like. He's still like he wouldn't be the best center of all time, and there's still a bunch ahead of him. But he would still go down as like a top. He would have been going down as maybe a top 50 player, a top 40 player of all time.
I wouldn't go that far.
I don't know. I think he was heading towards a nice career that didn't happen.
He wasn't dominating like Shaq, but yeah, he was having a good career.
Yeah, no, he wasn't dominating like Shaq. But it's since like we don't know what actually would have happened. I could just like Greg Oden, if he didn't have those injuries, would have been a top 10 of all time. Maybe like why not? Who cares?
Yeah.
Could prove me wrong. The Clippers, San Antonio. Is anyone else besides Clippers, San Antonio left? Oh, Memphis.
Memphis, Portland, which may be our 4th sweep of the first round.
Super exciting.
Yeah.
Um,
Although Conley and somebody else both got injured last game. So, I don't know. They're going to need to just win the next game so they could rest a little bit.
yeah, I mean, why is Portland? I would thought Portland would have competed. Like they would have won a game.
Yeah, I didn't. I picked Memphis to win, but I didn't think they were going to sweep.
I mean, their bench is horrendous.
Their bench is very thin, and I think Wesley Matthews' injury hurt them a lot more than everyone thought.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's one less guy on your bench, basically.
And Batum, was it Batum? No,
Who hates
Aflalo?
the Spanish?
I think Aflalo got injured too, so that
Aflalo played yesterday.
wasn't he out for the first 2 games though?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, they had a really thin bench to begin with, and then 2 key guys were out. So
They're short. I mean, they have some talent, but like, I mean, Lillard's obviously a very good player. Aldridge is a very good player, but it really kind of fades from there.
yeah,
Batum's okay. Yeah. So Clippers, San Antonio, the only really interesting series of the whole playoff so far. Are you surprised that's 2-2?
no. I mean, I think the teams match up pretty well. Both teams have looked dominating at different points.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think I expected this series to be a really tough one for both sides.
Yeah, I feel like this is a very, very whatever. This is a very good series. I still think San Antonio has a very good chance of going all the way, but this is a tough first round matchup to have.
Yeah, this is really tough for them. I think they could beat Houston. I think Clippers are a worse matchup for them than Houston is.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't have enough. I mean, maybe Golden State's gonna be good enough. Who the hell knows? I feel like the first round is just like outside of this series, which I think is a very good series. The rest of the first round is bad, but I think the second round, third round will be they'll be much more intriguing.
Wasn't last year one of the best first rounds?
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of a letdown.
Whatever. I mean, like, you know what? Last year you had the teams you expected to be in the finals. So maybe this year, like, if you don't have the teams you expect to be in the finals, it'll be more interesting.
True, but last year every series was really close. and it ended up with that way. So this, we still have Atlanta, Cleveland, and Golden State in there.
Yeah, I have high hopes for the second round. So I'm not worried the playoffs are going to suck. Do you think the Clippers pull this off and beat San Antonio?
I kind of have a feeling they do. I don't want them to. I think they're a bunch of flopping bitches, but I kind of feel like they're going to pull this one out.
I am not sold on that happening, but it could.
I have no idea how this series is going to go down.
We have a lot of questions and emails in the show. The Knicks, nothing's going on with the Knicks, so let's go to the questions and everything.
Okay. So we have an email from Frankie.
Okay, actually, before we even read the emails, so not to call anyone out for questions on the site. This was a question on the posts to the page on the Facebook page, and I just want to read this question. This is from George, and we love George. He has lots of questions. Most of the time, they're good questions. Question for Marc and Jay and all listeners. Hypothetical. Say for some miraculous reason we land the first pick in the draft, okay? Mm-hmm. And say Philly or the Timberwolves land second pick, and magically one of our ping pong balls reappeared as the 3-4 pick. Slim chance. What would you do with that to keep it, minimize your cap, and develop the player, or trade it as you already got pick one and try to make a blockbuster trade? Thoughts, everyone? So I'm going to counter his question with a new hypothetical.
Okay.
Jay, so let's just say the Knicks miraculously get the number one pick in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
And let's say they also get picks 2 through 15.
Mm-hmm.
You keep all those draft picks?
Mm.
And how good do you think we will be if we get the first 15 picks in the draft?
I think I would be in a good mood if that happens.
Is my question also as realistic as this question that was asked?
I would. I'll humor him an answer. I would.
What?
I'd still keep it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
By the way, I don't think it's possible to get 2 picks in the draft unless we trade for a second pick. Okay, go to the emails.
Maybe Lakers want to trade their pick for Melo.
What's going on with Instagram? I want to know what's going on Instagram. Update me, Jay.
I have not been good.
You are
on
the
Instagram.
worst social media guy ever. You're going to lose your post as the New York Knicks social media guy. What's going on Pinterest?
We don't have a Pinterest.
Why do we not have a Pinterest page?
Because I don't even know what Pinterest is.
What's Snapchat going on? What are you posting pictures of your penis next to Knicks players? What else is going on? What else we have? We have Vine. Are there any good Vines out there?
Well, no, because the Knicks aren't playing, so I haven't been able to get Vines. I mean, nobody wants to go.
Should there be like some kind of thing you're doing with the Knicks, like put a Knicks jersey on your cat and have it run around?
I mean, I don't think anybody wants me to post Vines of like the Hawks.
No, you should have a Vine page of different animals wearing Knicks stuff, running around and doing funny things. Or you know what? Put a Knicks jersey on your cat and push your cat off the couch. There you go. Then you just tape that, and people will be like, hilarious.
How much free time do you think I have?
Enough to do this. Isn't it this? Was it a 6-second video, a 7-second video?
Yeah.
Do you have 10 seconds a day?
I don't have 2 hours to try and get a piece of clothing on my cat.
I figure if the video is 6 seconds, it probably takes 4 seconds to do everything else. You're good.
Yeah, you forgot about the part where my cat's running around trying to claw my face because I'm trying to put clothing on it.
Tape that part. Do we have any other social media platforms we're not talking about right now?
Probably.
Tumblr. Is there what else is out there?
I'm sure we're missing a lot. We have no idea how to do social media.
Really?
Shocker.
What about Instagram? Oh, we've covered that one. Okay, anyhow. Questions, emails.
Email nyknixpodcast@gmail.com. Frankie writes, I love long episodes. Last podcast was awesome. When I saw the title of the episode was Lightning Round, I was a little disappointed. A short episode, I thought. Boy, am I glad I was wrong.
The opposite of that.
That was one of our longest episodes.
And like that episode, calling it Lightning Round is kind of like calling Felton Slim.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Slim.
John writes again, with the Cleveland trade, it seems like we gave JR and Shump away when obviously we could have and should have got more for them. Same thing goes for Priggs and Amari. Although with Priggs we got
Draft picks.
Shved as well. So
Shved, yeah, actually we got Shved and we got draft picks. Actually, that was actually a very good trade.
Yes. Phil mentioned these guys this week, and I'm seeing what his intentions were. With sending all those guys to playoff teams, Phil Jackson is building a rapport with players and agents outside our organization. This will help players.
Can I cut him for a second?
Yeah.
At the beginning of the year, Phil Jackson said the playoffs are a possibility for the Knicks. He just didn't specify which Knicks.
Right.
He didn't mean the team of players. Yeah, go on.
This will help players see that ending up in New York is not the same as ending up with an Isaiah Dolan trap. People who have left the Knicks have had bad things to say about us, and so Phil Jackson's letting everyone know that even if it doesn't work out, we'll still look out for you. I think that will help come July and beyond. What do you think? That's an interesting theory.
So basically it's like, hey, take a job with our shitty organization, but the exit opportunities are great.
Well, it's kind of like, agents really have a lot of influence on this league, and it's kind of like, all right, you made my client happy, so, maybe I won't completely ignore you when you try and get my other player to your team.
Don't think any of that's true. I think that's reading too much into it. I really think he just didn't want Shumpert or J.R. Smith on the team anymore. I think he wanted the tank, and I also didn't think they were part of the future, and he figured, let's just get rid of them and see what we can do about unloading players.
I think in the case of Shumpert and JR, I think Amari might have been building goodwill, but Shumpert and JR, he wanted to get rid of JR.
No way. I think Amari was just saving some bucks. I think he was building goodwill with James Dolan.
I heard Amari got everything, his whole contract, so he didn't save anything.
Oh, he did? I thought he lost I thought they saved $2 million.
Oh, well, I hope so, because they did him a huge favor.
Shit about Dolan's money.
Yeah.
I hope that when they cut him, they had to pay him extra money just so James Dolan has less money.
Andrew writes. Andrew actually made a game for us, so this should be fun. He made a chart, and it's all of the playoff teams.
Yes.
All 16 playoff teams, and he wrote what ex-Knicks are on each team, and he wants to see if you could guess who's on the team. So there's 4 teams with no Knicks on it. That means 12 of the teams have ex-Knicks on it.
So you want me to actually do the guessing?
Yeah.
Okay, so go to the team and give me the number of players.
No. You got to say if there's any at all.
Oh, so you don't want me to name the actual players?
Oh, yeah, that too.
Oh, okay, God, this is going to take forever. Go on.
Hawks.
The Hawks. Do they have any ex-Knicks on the team? Blah, blah, blah. No.
Correct.
Nailed it!
The Nets.
Let's see.
This one.
Is Sean Williams on that team now?
No.
Who's on Miami or?
I think he went to Miami. He's bouncing around everywhere.
And I'm gonna say no again.
This one was the hardest one. Earl Clark.
Oh, yeah, that is the hardest one.
Warriors.
Steve Kerr. Let's see. David Lee, who we really helped out by trading him. I mean, how much better do we make David Lee's life by trading him?
Yeah, I mean,
we were like, you know what? You're not good enough to be a Knick. We expect failure, and there's some optimism with you. We're going to trade you to the Golden State. Your life will be over in Golden State with better weather and more victories.
You'll make the playoffs every year. You get $80 million.
Yeah, we couldn't have helped him out more. Based on that, his agent and agency must love us.
He's the new Amari, though. He's been injured for 3 straight playoff series.
I mean, that's true. But you got to think based on the theory Phil said, we've made his client really happy.
Yeah.
What else? Is there any other Knicks on that team? I forget who else.
That's it.
No.
That's it.
Yeah.
So you got 2 out of 3. Pelicans.
Well, it's easier if you tell me the number. That way I don't have to still pretend to get. I still try to guess. Pelicans. I can't think of any Knicks on that team. I'm going to say no.
Tony Douglas.
Oh, right.
Cavs.
I would have if the game was is he still in the NBA and you named Tony Douglas, I would have probably gotten that one wrong. I'm going to say Cavs, no ex-Knicks. Are we going to go through this for every team? Is this really that entertaining of a game?
I don't know. I think it is.
Okay, great. Shump, JR, Maz.
Yep.
I'll
I'll speed it up. If you get them all, I'll just say yeah.
Okay.
Celtics.
The part of it when I'm like, I've gotten them all, I'm still trying to think, like...
Yeah, I'll speed it up.
Okay. Celtics, no.
Correct. Rockets.
Rockets, Red Glare. Prigs. There's another. Ariza.
Mm-hmm. There's one more.
There's one more?
Yeah.
Um,
It makes us really mad.
oh, Matt Barnes? No, Matt Barnes is on Clippers.
We had no use for him.
The Carmelo trade guy.
Corey Brewer.
Yeah, Corey Brewer.
And if you want to count the Greek guy that we drafted and sent right over there, you could do that too.
Okay, cool.
The Mavs.
Can't think of a nick. Amari, Felton. Is there another, Jay?
Yeah.
How many more?
One.
One. Let's see. I can't think of another one because I'm going to pretend Tyson Chandler wasn't a Nick.
The Bulls.
The Bulls. Blah, blah, blah. I don't think they had a Nick on the team.
Nazi Muhammad.
Oh, yeah. Going way back.
The Bucks.
The Bucks. Do coaches count?
Yes.
Jason Kidd.
Okay. Clippers.
Clippers. Matt. Jay might leave his girlfriend for you, Barnes. Do coaches count?
No.
Why do coaches count on the Bucks? They don't count on the Clippers.
Because he wasn't a player. Although, no, that's true. Mike Woodson was a player on the Knicks, right?
Wasn't Doc Rivers on the Knicks? Am I losing my mind?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I didn't. Was Woodson a player on the Knicks?
I think he was a player on the championship team.
Was he?
I think so.
I don't know anything about that, but I remember Doc Rivers being on the Knicks.
There's one more. You should get this one.
Oh, I'm probably wanting to see if Mike Woodson was on the Knicks.
Mike Woodson was on the Knicks, but not on the championship team. He was on the 1981 team.
Ah, okay.
His rookie season.
Anyway, one more guy in the Knicks. On the Clippers. Blah blah. Crawford.
Yes.
Okay. I don't understand the argument that Chris Paul hasn't had five guys around him that are good. He's got a very good team right now.
Yeah.
Just because his team is not completely stacked, he's got a very good team.
His bench is a little suspect, but his starting lineup is stacked.
Yeah, I mean this team compared to anything Carmelo has is not even close.
Yeah, it's true. Spurs.
Spurs would never let a Knick player on their team.
He actually wrote they would drop dead before they picked a former Knick. So you almost exactly got his comment as well.
I think if Carmelo said, I'm going to go to the Spurs for the league minimum, the Spurs would say, we're not going to have your taint on our team.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
Landry, the Raptors.
You're terrible at this.
Yeah.
Landry Fields?
Yes, correct.
Okay, am I done?
The Wizards.
The Wizards. Wizards. I want to say, they have to have someone because I feel we've done with 4 teams that haven't had one. But maybe we haven't. I guess I don't know. They don't.
Only if you want to count Nene because we did draft him.
Oh yeah.
Trailblazers.
I don't know. I'm sick of this game.
None. And then the last one's Grizzlies.
Memphis Grizzlies. Is there anyone we had in that team that we got rid of because we figured he had no talent so we could pursue someone else who was worse? Let's see. You have a guy who's 20-10 a game and plays some defense, but you want to get rid of him so you can get some guy who doesn't play defense and has injury problems.
And doesn't average 10 rebounds.
And doesn't average 10 rebounds. That was a wonderful, wonderful. I don't think any other team, if you just had that trade up, Zach Randolph or Amari Stoudemire, no team would ever do that trade.
No, definitely not.
And I understand they were going for LeBron. This is part of the whole thing. My whole thing is that when you go all in for a fantasy, it screws your organization.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I don't know if LeBron was completely a fantasy getting him back then, but you really spent so much time clearing cap space and just screwing your franchise over. And when you didn't get him, you pushed all your cards in. you basically were bankrupt. And then you said, okay, well, let's go for Amari, whatever. You were screwed to begin with, no matter who you signed at that point.
Yep.
And that's why I don't want us to be in the mentality of let's save some cap space for Kevin Durant. Maybe we'll get Kevin Durant. We're not getting Kevin Durant. The only way we're getting Kevin Durant if his foot is amputated prior to the season.
I agree, but I don't want us spending money just because we have it either.
I want to go all in for next season. Just go all in for next season. You have money. Try to win next season. We don't have a draft pick the year after. I wanted to build something, but if you have Melo here for a couple more years, next year he's going to be probably better. Next year he's going to be the year after. So
yeah, but I don't want us to be like, oh, we have $10 million. Let's just give it to random free agent who's still left on the market just because we have that money.
Well, if it's a 1-year deal, I don't mind. But if it's like I don't want to lock us in for the future from there.
Yeah, but most players aren't going to want to sign a 1-year deal.
If you're left on the market, you might.
That's not the way the Knicks roll. Oh, nobody else wants you? How's a 5-year deal sound?
No one's even offering me a 1-year deal. Okay, how about $10 million above what anyone would pay you? Again, no one's even offering me a contract. Okay, we're going to go max deal. You drive a hard bargain here. I just think don't leave money aside because on the dream. If it's like some kind of strategic reason to do it, or you don't think anyone's worthwhile, great. But just say we're not even going to try to go for Kevin Durant. It's not in the cards. We just don't. We have no reason to think it's going to work out.
We should just send him a letter like we don't want you on the team.
Like a Dear John letter. Mm-hmm. It's not you, Kevin Durant. It's us. We just feel like we're a better team for not having had you on the team.
Maybe the reverse psychology will work.
Kevin,
I know I really want to be on your team.
29 teams are going to recruit you, not us. We just don't think you are very good for our team. You've got like who needs a tall guy who can't get 20 rebounds a game? But we don't need you, Kevin Durant. You can't handle the New York media. Prove you can, please.
I mean, Wilt got 100 points in a game. You never did, so we don't want you.
Yeah. You're like 7-footing and shoot a 3-pointer. Who needs that skill set?
Okay, Alex writes. Who do you?
Alex wants us to go try to. We're going to name every player in the NBA and try to say were they a Knick or were they related to a Knick or can do they share certain initials? They share the same initials as a Knick player.
I like the last one.
Okay, go on.
Who do you think would win the matchup below? Team A is Mozgov, Crawford, Prigioni, Stoudemire, and JR.
Not bad.
And Team B is Chandler, Shumpert, Randolph, Udry, and David Lee.
We forgot Udry.
Yes, that was the Memphis.
Okay.
I forgot. You went on a tangent, and then I forgot we were playing the game.
Team B.
Yeah, I think Team B as well.
No question. I actually don't even think it would be that close.
And he wrote, Felton didn't make the team. I can't believe he's playing in the playoffs.
Signed Rondo.
Yeah.
Okay. We got a lot of questions, by the way, on Facebook.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I'm just saying lightning. Just speed the hell up.
Hingle McCringle writes, who are you? This is Twitter, at NY Knicks Podcast. Who are you?
You know what I love about Twitter? Just to make a point, it used to be when you read something like forget us, we're just whatever podcast, but like it used to be when they read things on the post Nick game show or any like show, they'd be like, oh, Bob from Memphis writes, but now it's like Jay's nuts writes, ask us a question. Like people have the weirdest names. You have to like read them like they're real names.
Yeah, I think it's pretty funny. So he writes, who are your most feared possible signings of the names being tossed around? His top 3 is Rondo, Jennings, and Monroe.
It's not bad.
I thought about it, and I could not top his top 3. I mean, Rondo is definitely number 1 on my list. I want him nowhere near the team. I don't even care if it's a vet's minimum. That guy...
I don't want Reggie Jackson.
That's a pretty good one, yeah.
Yeah, his list is pretty good, though. I don't want Monroe. Oh, man. I feel like this could be like such a disappointing offseason.
I know. I'm terrified. Keith writes...
At least the draft comes first. You know what the weird... So in the NFL, when does the free agency start in the NBA?
July 1st.
So it starts post-draft, right?
Yes.
So in the NFL, it's pre-draft. Like all the free agency happens and then the draft.
Yeah, that doesn't seem to make as much sense.
Yeah, that really, I mean, like, I think it would work even harder in the NBA, but, like, can you imagine now you have to sign all these guys and you don't even know, and you have to try to convince them to come here, not knowing who you're going to get?
Yeah, you like sign a max quarterback, and then you're like, oh, we got the number one pick, and we could have got a quarterback on a vet's minimum. That's awesome.
Yeah, like, whatever. Go on.
Keith writes, do you think Phil is going to max a player from this free agency class? And if so, who seems most likely to get it if available?
And the only guys that will be not signed with us.
I feel like there's a good chance we max Monroe.
I just don't. Hang on. I just don't think. I have no impression that Phil is incompetent yet. So, and obviously we'll see what he does. But like, I would really start questioning Phil if he gives a max to Monroe.
I would too.
I mean, that is the first, and maybe it would work out. Who the hell knows? Maybe. I mean, Phil Jackson knows basketball better than us, but he might prove us wrong by signing Monroe.
Yeah, I don't know.
That definitely kind of scares me. Like Gasol, obviously he would max out, but Gasol's not coming here. I could see him trying to Green in Golden State to whatever drop.
Yeah, I was just going by realistic. I don't think any of those are happening.
Yeah. So Draymond Green. I don't know who else he would though. Do you think he's going to do like Dragic?
No, I hope not.
There's no one else that for the realistic guys. There's no one that's really worth maxing out.
I guess that's a good thing. There's not too many guys you could see him like trying to max out, which is good.
Yeah, I mean, at the end, they also if he gives like Monroe $12 million a year instead of maxing him, I don't know what maxing. How much would maxing be? Like
16 to 18, somewhere.
Okay, so if you gave Monroe $12 million a year, I'd still say, shit, Monroe's on the team.
Oh, really? You don't even want him on the team?
I don't not want him. I just don't see necessarily.
I wouldn't be upset if we got him for like 10 to 12.
I don't know. I'm just wondering how this team. I guess I want to see what happens with the draft first. But like, I really wonder. I feel like Melo should be the power forward, so I don't really understand why you would get another power forward.
Right.
And especially a guy is not. I really want the team to concentrate on defensive signings. I'd rather them get them signed. Got all guys who play a lot of defense and maybe like are more limited on offense.
Yeah, I would much rather that as well, but that's not the way the Knicks go.
Okay, whatever. We don't know what the hell they go. It's Phil Jackson. Maybe he'll be different. In Phil we trust, kind of still, maybe.
Yeah, but I'm saying that more and more skeptically by the day.
Well, everything's about what he does in free agency in the offseason, and we haven't seen it yet. So we don't know who he's going to draft yet. We don't know.
I went from in Phil we trust to in Phil we trust?
Yeah, basically. I think everyone's kind of doubting Phil to a certain extent.
Yeah.
I think Phil is doubting Phil to a certain extent.
Okay, that is it for emails and Twitter.
Okay. Any voicemails?
No. Michelle
Nothing?
did not call today.
I thought we had voicemails.
No, we got butt dialed by Mr. Silverman. So it was 3 minutes of him walking around his neighborhood.
You're not going to play that?
No, it's really just footsteps. It's not interesting at all.
Would it be great if you got like something really bad?
Well, that's why I listened to the whole 3 minutes. I was waiting for something like super embarrassing to happen. But
I'm gonna buy the Brazilian cocaine, but you said the Haitian midget comes in with it. I only fuck Haitian midgets. Okay, no, Silverman doesn't do that. Anyway, Facebook. Greg writes, I think the Defensive Player of the Year award should have been won by Rondo. I mean, he shut down the entire Mavs offense, right?
that's a good one.
That is a very, very good one. Could you imagine the league really got together and just did that? It'd be the best thing ever. We just give out ironic awards.
They make Dirk give him the award.
They make him come to the presentation. Who would get the MVP in that situation?
The MVP would go to.
I think for the first half of the year, I would have given Kevin Love the MVP. But now that he's playing better, I wouldn't give it to him anymore.
You might have to give Rondo the MVP too.
Yeah, he really kind of screwed.
I mean, that team had championship aspirations, and he completely destroyed it instantly.
Yeah, I mean, I've never seen like a team acquire a star point guard and go that fall that fast.
Not only that, Boston was terrible, and they turned into a playoff team as soon as he left.
Yeah, that didn't work out. George responded to that. We better be careful. The joke may be on us.
I know. That's my biggest fear of the offseason.
William writes, please do not make a two-part Knicks show like The Brink Show, one of the worst ideas ever in podcast radio. He got 3 likes on that.
What? What are you guys talking about? That's because you spilled the beans. It wasn't supposed to be a 2-part episode. It was supposed to be 2 separate episodes.
Yeah, I probably will spill the beans in the future if we do that again. We'll never do that on the Knicks. We could do that again on The Brink. I don't know.
You ruined everything.
I ruin everything, including the show.
I guess the good news about that is somebody listens to Brink.
Yeah, we might be doing a Brink show tomorrow night. So, Greg writes, favorite ex-Knicks player on this year's playoffs. I think we answered that last week, but
still David Lee.
Still Tyson Chandler. Greg writes, best crowd. Is it really not Matt Barnes?
No, it's not. Believe it or not.
Believe it or not, Jay is madly in love with Matt Barnes. Greg writes, best crowd so far. Certainly not Milwaukee. New Orleans stepping up their game.
Certainly not Brooklyn.
Best crowd. I guess New Orleans giving they really were into it for a team that didn't have a chance.
They literally made the coach complain about the noise level.
That wins it for me. Greg writes, did Derrick Rose grant you another exclusive interview? Nice game earlier against the Bucks.
Yeah, I mean, he's played an entire...
Hey, Jay, you called me up. I'm here.
Oh, what's up, Derek? Congrats on playing almost 10 straight games without getting injured.
Yeah, my agent was saying that they're going to try to void my contract because they think I'm completely healthy and I have to play. And if they play bad, they're really going to void this contract. They say I have to play a couple more good games before I go down with an injury. So I'm looking at how many games do you think I can play against Cleveland before I can go down with a season injury?
Yeah. Why don't you try and play the whole series?
Jay, the hell's wrong with you, Jay? God, why do I even talk to you?
So okay.
I'm going to try 2 games.
2 games?
2 games. I'm going to play my ass off, but I'm not going to – I think I'm done driving to the basket or handling the ball or touching the ball or getting on the court.
Well, I mean, you have to get on the court.
God damn it. You sound like my agent. This is bullshit. This is goddamn fascism.
Why don't you just play 4 games and then get swept? That way, you look like a good guy for trying to play all the games, but it's the least amount of games you could play.
Well, the thing is, I have to show everyone. You see, the thing is, I have to play really well when I'm on the court and help Bulls win, because that way, when I'm not on the court and not playing, people get upset because they keep saying the Bulls would win if only Derrick Rose was healthy. Because I want to try to parlay all this to another max deal.
That is true. You got a year and a half until it's time to negotiate the new contract.
Yeah. I'm kind of like a hot girl that keeps kind of flirting with you a little bit, keep your attention a little bit, and eventually I gotta sleep with you one night, and then I gotta so I can keep this whole thing going for a little longer.
Well, good luck with your plan. That sounds great, and I'm sure...
I didn't mean I was going to sleep with anyone on the Bulls. I didn't mean that. I don't want to explain. Jimmy Butler's a nice guy. He's a good-looking guy. He's just not. I'm not into that.
Okay. Well, I'm glad we cleared that up.
Okay, Jay.
Thanks, Derek.
Greg writes, favorite playoff series to watch so far? Clippers.
There's literally only
Clippers,
one
Spurs.
worth watching.
Yeah,
that's literally the only one.
Okay. Greg writes, you guys have to have a copy/read one. 100 Things Knicks fans should do before they die by Alan Hahn. So all the things will suck on that list. I'm done with that.
Is all 100 listen to my podcast?
Forward by Walt Frazier. No way. Number 1 in the list. Go sit in the front row at a Knicks game. Doesn't really say that, but I'm not going to read it. I don't give a crap what Alan has to say. I'm a Dog writes, winning a title in the next 5 years is impossible. Likely impossible, or possible.
It's nearly impossible. It's possible, but it's
Give it a
rare.
percentage. Stop saying possible. Give a percentage. What percentage chance would you give realistically the Knicks of winning the title in the next 5 years?
3.
Don't say it's like even nearly impossible. 3% is like 3. If I could tell you have a 3% chance of getting cancer in the next 5 years, you wouldn't really worry.
Yeah, I would.
You would?
Well, I have anxiety issues, so
Oh, okay.
maybe you're talking to the wrong person.
I mean, 3% of anything. If it was like, hey, if you eat this candy bar, there's a 3% chance you're gonna get cancer. I'm hungry.
No, I wouldn't eat the candy bar.
I guess it's kind of a higher possibility of getting cancer. Anyway, so I'm basically comparing the Knicks' chances to the chance of you getting cancer, Jay.
Okay, so that's great.
I'd say the chances of them winning, I would give it to, I'll say 8%. It does not looking very good right now, but in Phil, we've kind of stupidly trust.
Sure.
I mean, anything could. The team has to 0% for next year. The team has to be pretty radically rebuilt, and we don't have that many draft picks coming up.
It just has to be a perfect storm of everything working.
Yeah. George writes, there's been a series of interviews with Phil Jackson giving the press a taste of what's to come in free agency. Do you think it's a bad idea for him to revealing his intentions, or do you think he has it all mapped out already with deals in place and just pending on the pick we get? Because we have seen it all before. Phil puts it out there, and someone else swoops in and takes the goods. What the hell has Phil been talking about with the media these days? I don't understand why he'd be explaining his actual true intentions.
I don't either, unless he's just playing mind games.
I don't know. I feel like he just enjoys this. Like, he can't be really serious with everyone. I think he's just throwing crap out there to see, to bounce it off. Like, we have a deal in place with Greg Monroe. Really? No.
And then he just jumps on Twitter to read all the comments.
Yeah, maybe he's just his thing is to throw everything against the wall. Like, he's going to throw everything out there.
Mm-hmm.
We have a max deal for Landry Fields.
Thinking about trading that draft pick.
Thinking about trading that draft pick for just a lower draft pick and nothing else.
Let's see what Marc and Jay think about that.
People
People say we're negative, but we're right a lot.
What'd you say?
People say we're negative, but we're right kind of a lot.
About being negative?
I
think the whole I just don't get why he'd possibly be really airing out what he's going to do. I think Phil just does this stuff.
I think he's smarter than that.
Maybe he's a lonely old man that just likes to have talk to the my girlfriend's in LA. I just like talking to the media. It's someone to talk to. They hang on every word I say.
Yeah, I would be surprised if Phil's giving away anything that would
Up
be
to this point,
surprise.
has anything come out ahead of time?
No, all his moves have been complete surprises. So
The only move that came out that was a little bit ahead of time was that they were gonna buy out Amari.
right.
And that wasn't like, hey, wow, big scoop there.
Yeah, everyone kind of suspected that was going to happen.
Way to nail that one, Frank Azzola. George writes, Aldridge Mello. You think that can work out, or will it be Stat Mello Disaster 2.0?
It won't be that bad, just because Aldridge probably won't be injured every single day of his life. But
That was the big difference I was thinking.
But I don't think it's an ideal pairing.
No, I do think Aldridge is a better player than Amari.
Yeah.
I think he also. I like that pairing better. I don't think it's an ideal pairing. That's all.
People get so mad when we rip on Amari, but I don't get how you can not at this point.
I really wonder how it would have worked out if Amari was just never injured the whole time.
Probably would have worked out a lot better.
Do you think it would have worked out that much better? The end results, forget number, will we've gone any further in the playoffs?
Look at Amari before he got injured. He was ridiculous for that one season.
Right, but he was ridiculous for that part of the season. Then Carmelo got here and they stopped. I think a big problem was the fact they kind of canceled each other out.
Yeah.
I don't think that was going to even if Amari was healthy the whole time, you have two guys that kind of do a lot of the same stuff.
But I think you could have figured it out eventually. Wade and LeBron were canceling each other out for a little while too.
But the big thing they figured out is they both can play terrific defense.
That is true.
And they also figured out that it was Wade taking a backseat to LeBron, which made sense, and I guess Amari would have taken backseat to Melo. I don't know. I just it's at the end of the day, I'm not sure how much further we would have gotten in the playoffs. We wouldn't have had this disaster of a season, I guess.
That is true.
John writes, "What are your thoughts on the hack a Shaq rule?" I personally actually was want to bring this up anyhow. I personally think that if you are considering a professional and you make millions of dollars, work 4 days a week for 4 hours a day to go along with 4 months per year vacation and free healthcare, a free throw isn't too much to ask. Shouldn't have to change the rules to accommodate you too. Make your damn free throws.
I kind of agree with that. I mean, I do think it's ridiculous that guys are shooting 30% from the free throw line.
So what is the NBA, Jay? It's entertainment. And you know what's not entertaining? Hack a Shaq.
Well, that was my other point. I don't want to watch 50 free throws a game.
I don't want to watch, and I don't think I guess a foul is supposed to be you did something wrong, you violated some rule, right? You should be able to use that as a weapon. I just hate that.
Right. When they have things like that in video games, the developers create a patch that fixes that problem so people can't do it anymore.
I mean, it'd be like in football, like using offsides as an advantage, or like in baseball. Oh, I'm gonna just start hitting players with the baseball because it's an advantage here to do that. Or like, I just can't say, like, it's a weird thing in basketball. We can use a violation of the rule as an advantage.
Right.
So I've always hated that. I've always hated any kind of fouling where it works out in your favor with the foul, and it just makes the end of the game excruciating to watch.
I mean,
I get you should make your shots, but whatever.
The Spurs were using it today in the third quarter.
Yeah, it's just brutal to watch. I mean, I totally understand the fact that the guy should make the damn shot, but like, you know what? They're not going to. So we're gonna have to, just because she's supposed to, like.
It's tough because I mean, I don't know. I don't like. I don't know.
Life is full of lots of things that you're supposed to be able to do when you screw up, and we just have a. You have to just accept some people are not going to be able to do things no matter what they're paid to do it, and just like, let's make the game more entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, that wouldn't be priority on my list of things to fix, though.
I would fix flopping first.
Yep.
But I actually think this is high up there for me. I wish it would flip flop.
How did Harrison Barnes not get fined for that flop?
I don't know.
Did you see that one?
I know which one.
Anthony Davis swung his elbows and he fell backwards and covered his face like he got elbowed in the face. And on the replay, it showed he didn't even get touched.
I don't know why you can't start just suspending guys even in the playoffs for that. It's just like make it a strict penalty.
Yeah, this fine thing isn't working. You gotta. I mean, the guys make millions of dollars. Fining them $5,000 is not doing anything.
It should be like a yellow card, like red card thing in soccer. You do it once, you get a warning. Second time, you're just suspended for a game. And we're gonna look post game and we'll just do it like you. It's gonna be really hard to do it in game and I get why it's gonna be hard for the referees. And I guess one thing there's two different kinds. There's one where you exaggerate it so you try to get the call. I understand there's some reason for doing that.
Yeah. Because
if you don't exaggerate, it's never gonna happen. But when you do things that are just flat out acting, you deserve a suspension.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Rosario writes, have you guys done the nay?
What?
Have you done the nay?
No, I don't think I've done the nay.
Done the nay.
I don't even know what that means.
It is a dance, I think.
Is it?
I don't know. I'm looking for I'm on YouTube right now. I clicked on nay. And they say I can skip the ad in 3 seconds. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Who doesn't skip the ad?
This ad looks like it's going to be a good one.
Official dance. Can you hear this?
No.
Oh, that's. You can't hear that at all, huh?
No.
Okay, I don't know what the hell a nay is.
Okay.
I'm sure it's something that's going to miss my generation of being old. Rosario writes, I don't want Aldridge. Here's a question. Would you rather have Aldridge or Greg Monroe?
Greg Monroe. Aldridge is already 30. I don't want our big signing to be a guy who's just past his peak.
That would be more in the Knicks tradition. I feel like Aldridge is a better player.
Yeah, but Monroe's 24. He can get better.
No, it's a strong. The age thing's a strong argument.
Aldridge isn't getting any better.
I feel like our choices aren't wonderful. William writes, do you hate when the Knicks fans tell you to be patient? Like, that is such a new fan thing to say. Like, I want to win now. This has been the worst season ever, and I have a full-time job, pay my taxes, pay my bills, and all I ask is to watch a simple Knicks game with the hope of them at least making the damn playoffs. P.S. I don't a baseball or hockey Knicks is all I got in terms of sports.
Yeah,
well, William,
here.
that's your fault for not being a Mets fan. The Mets are playing great baseball right now.
I mean, I'm sort of in the middle. It's annoying that every year they say wait another year. On the other hand, I don't want them to make rash decisions just because they're impatient.
Like they've been doing for like a decade.
Exactly.
I just want the 90s again. We don't have to win a title. It'd be great. You want to be in contention every year.
Yeah,
you want to have like a very good team.
We made the finals twice, and we made the conference finals like 3 other times. That's a pretty good decade. I'm fine with that.
Yeah. Rosario writes, how the hell does Mark not know? Shaking my head. Deadpool. Freaking communist man. LOL. Did I mention this already that my son has a... So I bought him this thing of like all these superheroes, and there's one superhero I didn't know on the thing.
Yeah, you
and
said you didn't know who it was.
Yeah, and it was Deadpool. I looked up a picture and then looked at the thing, and I was like, oh, that's Deadpool. But I feel like Deadpool's like not like a well-known... Like all the other guys are like guys that kids know.
Anyone who's into comics now knows Deadpool. He blew
No,
up.
forget comics. Like, just kids just don't know Deadpool. It's
Well,
not
yeah,
like
because
I was
he's,
asking my nephew, who's a little older than my son, and I'm like, who are the superheroes you're into? He's like naming. He's like Batman, Superman, Flash, Aquaman. They know all those names. I'm like, you ever hear of Deadpool? No, no one's heard. No kids heard Deadpool.
Because Deadpool is vulgar, and the comic is not for kids.
Is he really that popular?
Yeah. I went to Comic-Con, and there was 14 people dressed up as Deadpool.
Again, I don't really know what that means. You said that before. I don't know. In Comic-Con, there might be 14 people dressed up as like Batman's like butler also. Like, if you're not a comic fan, are you going to know him? There's no crossover to like non-comic book fans.
He was in the Wolverine movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Who did he play?
Ryan Reynolds was Deadpool.
Deadpool played Ryan Reynolds? Sorry.
Why are you asking the question backwards? Who did Deadpool
yeah.
play? I don't know what.
No, sorry.
And they're making a Deadpool movie, so people know him now.
How is Deadpool? Wait, so how does Deadpool know like what Wolverine?
How does he know Wolverine?
Yeah, they go to college together.
I don't read Deadpool. I'm not.
Oh, I don't read Deadpool. No, I'm just wondering like how he fits into the story. Is he one of the? Because
He's a mercenary. He's not on a team, so he just pops in and maybe he's hired to kill somebody, and Wolverine's trying to not kill somebody, and he gets in the way, or I don't know.
They're all part of the same world, though.
Yes.
Okay.
He's a mercenary, so he's not a good or bad guy. He's just kind of he does whatever whoever pays him
I'm
money.
excited to see the Deadpool movie. I'm really excited.
You sound really, really psyched about it.
I maybe I should see where can I see Deadpool? Is there ever been is Deadpool only appearance on film that movie?
Yes.
The Wolverine movie? Was he good in the Wolverine movie?
No, it was terrible.
Oh.
First of all, he's supposed to be horribly deformed, and so they got Ryan Reynolds to play him. Who's like, like one of the better looking actors. It's like, what? Did you even read the comic?
They never do.
No.
I heard Daredevil's pretty good. I want to see it.
Everyone's talking about that.
I will check out. The problem with Deadpool is he has no crossover yet, and so I don't read comics. So I don't like when he has this movie and it's a good movie, I'll watch 10 minutes of that movie.
Right.
Rosario writes, have you guys watched Daredevil on Netflix? Not bad, actually.
No, but I've gotten like 8 messages about how good it is.
Yeah, so I kind of, the whole blind superhero thing does sound kind of like whatever to me, but I've heard it's good. I kind of want to watch it. William writes, realistically name 2 players that if you get you would be happy. For me, it would be DeAndre Jordan and Tobias Harris. I'd be happy with Jordan. That'd be good.
Not so much for me with Jordan. I would be happy with Harris. I would be happy with. I don't know. Danny Green would make me really happy.
You know what I actually figured out? The two players, to answer the previous question, the two players I do not want the Knicks to get are whoever they actually sign. Whoever they get, I will be bitching about and unhappy about for some reason. They'll probably not play defense, and I'll be annoyed.
That's the spirit.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind Jordan. Whatever. I don't know. William writes, do we still want Rondo? No. Grant writes,
Absolutely not.
what was the first thing that came to mind when the Knicks beat the Hawks just before the Detroit game?
That they are not going to get the number one pick now because they're stupid.
I was going to say that I just hate being a Knicks fan.
Yeah.
Greg writes, you agree with this guy? And it's a thing that's saying Raptors regular season, and then their mascot for the playoffs is Barney. That's a pretty good one. Rosario writes, we have established a 4-question limit per person so the show goes smoother.
Thank you.
Greg writes, have you guys seen the latest Avenger movie?
Didn't it come out like 7 minutes ago?
Greg writes, is that out already this weekend?
I don't even know if it's out yet.
Age of Ultron.
I'm not even going to... I'm excited about it. But
Is the Deadpool in that one?
No, he's not.
Why not?
Because they added Quicksilver and the Scarlet Witch and Vision. I know Vision's going to be one of your favorites.
They added what?
Vision.
What were the other ones?
Quicksilver and the Scarlet Witch. They are Magneto's kids.
What?
Yeah.
I thought Magneto was in what's the other movie where they're all in?
X-Men?
Yeah, I thought Magneto was from X-Men.
He is.
So but he's also in Avengers?
He's not. His kids are.
I thought they were in different universes.
No, they're all the same unit. All of those. The only ones that are in different universes is Batman and Superman. Everything else is Marvel.
Spider-Man's is in a different universe also, right?
No, he's in the Marvel universe.
So Spider-Man is like, hey, Spider-Man, this guy's crazy fighting crime, but of course we have the Incredible Hulk in our town.
Yeah.
Spider-Man knows that these guys exist?
Yeah, they hang out. Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, the Avengers, the X-Men.
Why don't they ever make a reference to that? Like, who's this crazy spider? But it makes a lot of sense because the Incredible Hulk and all the other guys exist.
I don't understand your question.
I don't know. Like when Spider-Man fights crime, it's only like him. Maybe like he'd be like, "Hey, the Sand Monster is really tough. Could you guys come over and help me with this one?"
Oh yeah, I wonder that sometimes. Every once in a while, they'll be like, "Oh, this guy's kicking our ass. We should call the Avengers." And they'll be like, "Oh yeah, the Avengers are busy." Like every once in a while, they'll throw in a reference like that.
They're not texting. I don't know. It's weird. I always thought like every superhero existed in his own planet.
No.
Man.
They've all met before.
Avengers Age of Ultron opens to $201 million overseas. So I guess it's opened overseas.
Okay.
But Fast and the Furious is winning the box office again this week.
What is?
Fast and the Furious 7.
Jesus, that movie sucks.
Did you see it?
No, I saw the first two, and they sucked. So
maybe Part 7 is a masterpiece.
I'm sure. The series usually get progressively better as they go.
It's killing it. There's no way. Obviously, Part 8's coming out. I guarantee 5 more Fast and the Furious will come out before the Knicks win a title.
I think that's a safe bet. Wait, but this one was called The Last Ride.
Greg writes, how ridiculous was the game-tying 3 that Steph Curry made on Game 3? Still hoping he's on our team.
That was ridiculous. And don't hope he's on the team because that'll never happen.
Yeah, same chance as Durant or LeBron coming here. Greg writes, current or past NBA players that would be good at Mario Kart?
The Lopez brothers.
Sure.
They're huge into video games and comics.
Here's one, Landry Fields. Tell you why. He has plenty of time.
He's sure to. Oh, by the way, the Wizards won by 31 points.
Did Landry Fields play? He might have.
I am going to check that right now.
Greg writes, who's your MVP? Make a case.
Landry Fields, DNP, coach's decision.
Who's your MVP? Make a case.
Curry, because he is the
Best player on the best team.
Yeah.
Greg writes, most entertaining series to watch. Clippers, San Antonio. Greg writes, latest Knicks news you've been hearing.
All right, we covered that.
We've been hearing not much is going on. Greg writes, you guys still going to answer these? What did we answer?
I don't know. Did he just write that?
No, he linked to the questions from April 24th.
Did we answered 40 questions. Are you telling me we missed questions?
He linked. Oh, no. He linked to the questions from that we just went over.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Greg, we do this every episode. You ask questions in every episode. We answer your questions every episode. And every episode, I've been doing a lot lately because there's nothing to talk about with the Knicks. So I ask on Friday, which we're recording a show this weekend, give us your questions. And then I put a reminder up on Sunday because I want to get a lot of questions because there's jack shit to talk about because the Knicks are boring as hell lately. And we answer the questions every time. Greg writes.
I seem to sense that there's a lot of questions from Greg. I think that was the the other guy wrote the limit question.
Which moment was better? Baron Davis dunk on Andrei Kirilenko in 2007 or Steph Curry's game-tying 3 last night?
Considering I don't remember the dunk, I'll go with Curry's 3.
Baron Davis is the next Knick, so it has to be the other one. Sean writes, is JR sentimental? 2 years ago to the day of the elbow to Jason Terry, JR does it again in the Cavs game. Good job, Sean.
I didn't know it was 2 years to the day. That's amazing.
That's amazing. Nils writes, have you fellas seen any of the playoff games? Are you surprised by how many series are being 3-0? I'm not surprised. Are you that surprised?
I am a little surprised.
I kind of thought all the matches, I know we predicted some of the games to go longer, but I felt like for the first round, the series weren't that great.
They weren't, but I mean, I didn't think Toronto was going to get swept. I didn't think Portland was going to go down.
Yeah. I didn't think they'd be sweeps, but I kind of thought there'd be more. I don't know. I think the second round is going to be a lot better. Gilliam writes, do you think if the Knicks had drafted Curry, he would be the MVP caliber player? Is he one of those players, no matter where they land, they become a great player, or the Warriors were a perfect fit and a great organization for him? Would the Knicks had been, I think that is what Phil meant when he said he wanted to change the culture, and that's what we should judge him on. For that matter, I don't see any Davis, LeBron, Duncan in this year's draft, despite being so strong, so it doesn't matter as much when we pick. What we need is a young, talented, cheap player that has his feet on the ground so he can prove every season.
Yeah, I don't think Curry would have been a league MVP if he was on the Knicks.
If he was on the Knicks, he would have been J.R. Smith.
By the way, did you see the clip of Doc Rivers flipping out over a call, and right behind him is Woodson stealing chips from a fan?
Mike Woodson. I love
Mike
you.
Woodson. That was amazing.
I do think Steph Curry would have been still a great player. I don't know if he... There's always obviously there's always better organizations to go to. But I still think Steph Curry would have been one of the top players in the league. As far as there's no... You know what? There's no Davis, LeBron, Duncan. But you know what there is? There are some players in the draft that are better than other players. And you have a better chance of getting those players if you draft higher.
Mm-hmm.
Hang on, I got to sneeze.
Bless you. All right. See how many times.
And I'm done. And please edit out those sneezes.
I will not.
Oh, screw you. Gilliam writes, I can't believe how long the show's going. Gilliam writes, suggestion, make each week up to the draft something like a 20-minute special per podcast about each player in the top 5, 6, 7 players in the draft. The ones we could draft, maybe 1 or 2 players per episode, could be interesting. That is a great idea, Gilliam. And if you want to produce that and send it to us, we'll air it. Gilliam writes, I think you may not know draftexpress.com and NBAdraft.com going by what you say in your podcasts. Obviously.
Are you suggesting we don't know what we're talking about?
Obviously, the pages are about the draft. NBA Draft has a quick info on strengths of the players, and Draft Express even has videos that are on YouTube with scouting reports, strengths and weaknesses, not just highlights. Maybe one of their videos is Porzingis, one Jay watched, who, by the way, plays in Sevilla, Spain, not in Latvia, where he's from.
Are you
Jay, are you an
serious?
idiot? He plays in Sevilla?
I had
Seville, whatever?
I thought he was in the Latvian league.
Oh, my God. You've been saying this for like... At least I got the right countries the players are playing in.
Well, you know what? That's better news because Spain is a much better league.
Oh, my God. I can't believe he's been playing in Spain the whole time.
Well, now are you more excited that he's putting up good numbers in Spain?
No, I just can't believe you got it that wrong.
Well, I mean, he did have some affiliation with Latvia, so
He was born there.
there you go.
We're not just assuming players are playing where they're born.
Well, at least Latvia was in the equation somehow.
We're not like saying Melo plays for Chicago because he was born there.
It would have been really weird if I just started saying Latvia and he had no affiliation with Latvia at all.
Holy crap.
We are a professional show.
Dirk has had a. Do you think the German basketball is going to retire Dirk because he's only been playing for the German national team? Oh my God! I really want this guy to be our team. I don't even know what team he's on.
This is
you got the continent wrong.
This is what happens when Stat Guy quits the show, where we have nobody to fact check our stuff.
Okay, so you know what? Maybe next show we'll do more draft. We'll go to the draft.
Next
I don't
episode,
think, is there anything we're saying about these players that they're so far off?
Stay
Like
tuned.
Okafor is not a great defensive player.
stay tuned next episode where Mark and Jay read directly from Draft Express.
I just think, you know what the whole thing also is? There's only so much speculation you could do about, like, let's just
I'm
find out
already
who we're
sick
gonna
of
get.
speculating about these guys.
Oh my God. It's just like, it's whatever. We know so much about these players, and whoever you hope to get, it would be at least nice to actually know where we're picking first. May 19th, we will know where we're picking. As if we don't know already, we're picking fifth. Gilliam writes, I like the podcast when it has guests, but last week with Silverman was a bit disappointed. What? I think it would have been better if you had gone straight to the Facebook questions. Always more interesting than mails, in my opinion. It's something that would benefit the show all days, actually. First Facebook questions, maybe as a way to introduce topics. Just a suggestion.
Signed the guy who writes Facebook questions and wants to hear his question first.
Yes, we didn't get that in an email from Gilliam.
I thought Silverman was hilarious in the beginning of that podcast.
I thought he was great. I think the one weakness of the show was that, I know everyone has Facebook questions, and it's great when the guest could answer those Facebook questions. And the fault was really there was a lot of emails, and we didn't basically want to force Silverman to stay all night with us.
That was
'cause
literally
who
the
wants to stay all night with us?
We usually get 3 emails, and we got like 12 that day, so that was also the issue.
It happened to be a lot more than expected, so it made it harder to keep him for the Facebook questions. That was our fault, not Silverman's fault. I thought it was a good show. And I guess no matter what kind of show we do, we will get negative feedback. We appreciate that. What did we learn today? You can't please our fans ever. Apparently we don't know anything. So here's what we learned today. We can't please our fans ever. We don't know jack shit about the draft and can't even Google properly. We can't get the right damn country the guy Jay wants to be drafted for our team plays in. The playoffs are boring. What else do we learn today, Jay?
We've been exposed as knowing literally nothing.
We should just advertise the show as we know nothing. Just like start. This is a New York Knicks podcast brought to you by a complete lack of knowledge.
I'm going to change the description to 2 bitter Knicks fans who literally know nothing about basketball.
Yes. We know a lot more about... Jay knows a lot more about comics than he knows about basketball.
That is true.
I know a lot more about diapers and poop than I know about basketball. So there's our areas of expertise. Anything else we learned today, Jack? The show has been way too long for nothing
How
going on.
did this go this long? This is a complete travesty.
What are we at, Jay?
An hour and 29 minutes.
Can we break it up to 4 episodes?
Yes, we're going to take the month off, and we're going to release this in 30-minute parts.
Why is this so damn long? We should just jump to for now we're just going to jump to the questions right away. Why do we even need to come up with our own topics? So anyhow, you will not be hearing me talk about this for another 8 weeks because it'll be an 8-parter.
This is what we wanted for our comedy podcast. We wanted people to put in questions so we didn't have to actually write content.
Yes. Anyway, whatever. Anyhow, so tune in for a new episode of the Knicks in about 2 months when we complete this 8-part episode.
So thank you for listening. You could email us, nyknickspodcast@gmail.com. Twitter is nyknickspodcast. Same with Vine. Same with Instagram. And
depending on what form of social media you ask us questions, we don't know. Next time, there might be a totally different order for how we answer the questions. Maybe we'll go Facebook, Twitter, back to Facebook.
Pick up a shirt so I can get these 2 gigantic boxes of shirts the hell out of my room.
Please buy a shirt. Please buy a shirt.
If I make shirts, who will buy one? Oh, everybody. Cool. I got shirts. Oh, did I say I was buying a shirt? I meant I just wanted you to buy a shirt.
How can we make the pool? How can we make the it more, give a greater incentive? If you buy the shirt, what will Jay do? Will you autograph the shirt, Jay?
I will autograph the shirt if you want.
I will not come over to your house to autograph the shirt. I haven't even come over to your place to pick up my shirt yet. But Jay will sign my name.
Uh-huh. I will forge Mark's name. Actually, I'll have my girlfriend write Mark's name because she has a much better handwriting.
Jay will send you... What else are you going to send them when they buy a T-shirt?
I will send you a Brink of Sanity business card with outdated information.
Will you cut off some of your remaining hair and put it in there?
If you want some hair samples, yeah, that's fine.
Okay, cool. The creepiest thing you could possibly get in the mail.
Yeah. I'll just send you my toenail clippings so you can use the DNA to...
Actually, if you don't buy a shirt, we will give Michelle your number. Okay, we're out.
All right, thanks for listening, everybody. If you get bored, you could also download our comedy show, The Brink of Sanity, at brinkofsanityshow.com or on iTunes.
No one's that bored.
You could join the Facebook group there and submit 1 billion questions because we're doing a show tomorrow, and that would be fun. So, we're done. This was about 72 minutes longer than I wanted to go, so goodbye.
Bye, bye, love. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. It's all over. Goodbye. It's time to go. This is the end. Say goodbye. You better go away. I'm gonna leave you. It's the end. Goodbye. Goodbye. Just leave me alone. Feels so good to say goodbye. I'm sick and tired and I'm saying goodbye. Goodbye, girl. Goodbye, 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 everybody.
It's Marc and Jay, 2 bitter Knicks fans who know nothing about basketball and are completely incapable of pleasing even one fan.
Could you record that and make that the intro for our next show?
It's the outro for this episode. If anybody who stays after the song gets this bonus joke.